Hello everybody, I'm John. I'm a sales consultant that works for Ideal Homes. I've now been working, it's now coming up to my 5th year working at Ideal Homes Portugal, so it must be something I like. Things about the Algarve, and we'll have a chat about golf, properties on golf courses, the areas of the Algarve, my knowledge that I know, and hopefully can answer questions of majority of things you may be thinking about today, and we can sort of help you. I actually came to the Algarve I bought my first property in 2000, and then I've sort of been in the Lule area, which is in the Golden Triangle, and I just fell in love with Portugal. I like it. I'm a golfer. At the moment, I don't seem to get much time to play golf because of work. But if you're not familiar with the Algarve as such, I'll go through a couple of things and say, well, we have the Eastern Algarve, we have the Central Algarve, and we also have the Western Algarve. And with golf in mind, I think it's now, there's about 34 championship courses here. Another one being built as we speak in Lule. That's going to be pretty spectacular as well. And obviously, when it comes to golf, in certain golf courses, you've got properties on the golf courses, so you can have apartments and villas, etc., etc. But with the Algarve, you'll often find there's never much time. Travel is very easy everywhere. And I often say it's either 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 15 minutes to get to literally anywhere, except if you're going one end to the other. For those of you who are not familiar, let me just start with like the Eastern Algarve. The Eastern Algarve is on the border of Spain, and it's more what I call traditional. Places like Tavira, very, very pretty, architectural. There's a river, there's islands, and you can go. It just is a place to go to. If you're a person who wants nightlife, it's probably not the place to go to. There's good restaurants and everything like that, but discos and bars, no. There's other places I can suggest for that. On the golfing side, what I would say about the Eastern Algarve, you've got one of the best golf courses in Portugal and one of the best in the world, and that's Monterey. That is a very, very special golf course. I'm lucky enough to have played it 2 or 3 times, and it's once in a while, it's a treat to go and play it. Apart from Monterey, you've got places like Castelmarín, that's on the border. That's got 27 holes. Great golf course, 3 9-hole courses. There's also, just across the way from Castelmarín, you've got Seve Ballesteros, his course, Quinta de Val. And that's a challenging course, right? Sits on the Guadiana River. So you've got the views of Spain, looking across the Guadiana River to Spain. And anybody, apart from the golf side of it, fancy doing something very special and different, there's now done a zip line. So you can come from Spain to Portugal on the zip line, start off at an hour behind and land up in Portugal an hour ahead. So it's something to think about. But when it comes to the golf courses, in that sort of area, there's not what I would call properties on golf courses there. They're around about. And the Eastern Algarve, when it comes to property, is probably a little bit cheaper than Central and some parts of the West. Cabanas, just outside Tavira, very pretty, right on the sea, lovely little fishing village, lots of apartments, lots of villas around central, more inland there. And Cabanas, if you're looking for a property there, you could buy a 2-bedroom apartment from probably about, let's say about 250,000 euros upwards, and you would be literally 5 minutes to Benamor Golf Course. In fact, you could walk to Benamor Golf Course. It's literally across the road. And then you've got Quinta de Val and Quinta de Cima. And they're a privately owned, family-owned golf course that has memberships there, or you can turn up and play. I'll explain a bit more about memberships and things like that a bit later, because there are little avenues you can go down and maybe not having to have actually joined a golf club. But Quinta de Rio and Quinta de Cima, for the golfers out there today, that they are pretty special. They literally go down to the Rio Formosa and the views when you're playing golf, well worth going down to. Really nice. So Cabanas, very good prospects of buying apartments there. If people are looking to relocate to live over in Portugal, not a bad place to start. But if you're thinking about a holiday home, rentals very good in Cabanas. Tavira is always very popular. I would always recommend, if you buy a nice two-bedroom apartment there with outside space, balcony, roof terrace. On the rental side, you could expect really in high season, late end of July, August, beginning September, to really turn around about between 750 and probably up to 1250 euros a week, less your management costs for running it. While I mentioned that, actually, maybe jumping around, sorry, but Ideal Homes, let me explain a bit about Ideal Homes if you're not familiar. Ideal Homes is like a bespoke property shop. We work for you. We don't charge you. When we sell a property, it's the seller that pays us our money. We work for you, and we go out of our way to find you the property. Property, you know, varies so much. We look on the internet and we can see property everywhere on the internet, but it's like we use the internet for so much these days. I often say, if you're buying something like a property, you need to see it. It's like perfume, you need to smell it. So we can get an idea of what a property looks like, but really you need to be there. That's where we take over. We help you. We actually do, obviously with the pandemic that's going on at the moment, flights coming in, hopefully going to start next week, we understand. But we do we do like inspection flights where you come over, people like me, I'm afraid you have me, but we pick you up at the airport, we look after you, we spend 2 or 3, 4 days with you, not pressure, we just show you the areas. If you're not familiar with the Algarve, we'll start on the east, we'll go to central, then we go to west, and we'll learn from what you like and what you don't like. Not just literally, you know, saying your budget is this and we'll take you to that. Every property is that price. We'll learn and take you to properties that suit you. That's part of our job. Ideal Homes also do the rental side. So if you buy a property and you want to rent it out, only be too pleased to do the rentals for you. They have a complete rental package. They do a rental team, meet and greets, and they do everything for you. We also do things like mortgages. I think on Tuesday, we're going to be doing something on mortgages to explain the mortgage department. But briefly, if you buy a property through us, we will find a mortgage. We have a mortgage advisor that will go to all the banks here and lend in and get the best rates for you, starting just over 1% at the moment, 70% to value, 70% to the value, in some cases 80% of the value of the property. If you bought a property from someone else, we will still do the mortgage packaging for you, but there is a charge for that. And also the other things we do if you bought properties off plan, we do furniture packages with furniture firms. As I said, we are a one-stop holiday shop. We will look for your holiday property, your relocation property, hopefully find you something you like, and we're there to help you. We're not just going to say, well, there's your property, thanks for buying from us. We'll look after you. We have a after-sales team that look after you. We'll connect the gas and the electric. We have lawyers that we can recommend, independent lawyers. We have currency companies we work with. So they're all things to help. We don't just leave you high and dry. Back to golf. Sorry, I'm going on a bit. On the eastern side, as I say, it's a very laid-back, very easy-going, very nice area to go to. And you're only 25 minutes from the airport. Faro Airport's the main airport to go into the Algarve. And then you've got, I've mentioned Cabanas, Tavira, and I mentioned briefly the islands. One of the great things about the east side is the beaches. There are normal beaches, but there are some islands. You can go ferry boats out and go out on the ferry boats, go over to Ilkalatra. There's several, Faro Island, for example, as well. Go out there, there's no traffic on them, but there's restaurants, beaches, and it's beautiful. It really is worth going. And you can go to Olial for that, which is a real typical old Portuguese fishing village. It's developed, it's got bigger now. Get the ferries out to there. spend all day out on the islands and just come back in the evening. And Oleao is great for buying fresh fish. And Oleao is only probably 15 minutes from the airport. And coming back towards the airport, we've got Faro itself. Faro, very big city, often a place people arrive there, get off the plane and never go back to. But if you're here for a little while, Faro is a good place to go into. It's a big town and it's got some interesting things. On the Gulf side, in Portugal, as I said, there's probably about more than 34 golf courses if you add the smaller ones up. And then on the eastern side, we have got probably, as I said, I run through the Castor Marine, Benamor, Quinta Vale, Quinta Cima, Monterey, Quinta Vale, the Seve course. And then you come to the central part of the Algarve. Now, the central part is sometimes a bit more expensive. It's the Golden Triangle with some really championship golf courses, some very expensive villas, very nice celebrity status villas in Quinta Valdelobo, Villamora. Idle Homes office is actually Villa Sol, which is 5 minutes from Villamora International Marina. Here, you've got an abundance of golf. It just goes on. I mean, Quinta Largo's got 2 courses. You've got San Lorenzo, was 7th best course in the world once. I think it's gone up probably from there a little bit now. There's another one just opened there. There's Pineros Altos. I said Valdelobo's got championship 2 courses, the West and the Royal and the Ocean, sorry. Then we've got Villamora, which has got Pinhao, the Old Course, Laguna, Millennium, Victoria, where the Portuguese Masters is held every year. And that's very challenging, very good golf course to play. All of them are. And one of the things I will say about membership, some of these golf courses have yearly membership, but if you're only having a holiday home and you want to play golf, that's going to be an expensive way of doing it. If you are looking at buying a property in the central Algarve, and Oceanica has got like five or six golf courses there, I would suggest looking up anything you might have a question after. Ask me or send me an email. My email comes up, John at Idle Homes Portugal. I'll answer the best I can and send you some links. But there are several ways of going around things and playing golf without paying so much money at rack rate at the golf clubs. Oceanica do Club de Villamora. You can join Club de Villamora. It costs you, I think it's about €100 a year, plus the Portuguese Federation is €40 to join that with it. That gives you discounted golf off of all their 5 or 6 golf courses in the Algarve. And with that, they do competitions. And then twice a year, they have free golf, one at Victoria and one usually at either Pinot or the Old Course. It's September and June, I think they have those. They are free and they have lunch and sometimes they have dinner at the casino. That's included in your membership for €100. So that is well worth joining, and that is Club de Villamora. Other ways you can join golf here is join for societies. If you want to mix with a lot of people, join Golf for Grace. Golf for Grace is a society here that golf across the Algarve, and it's a society that all the stewards run the Victoria, the Portuguese Masters. They run. All the stewards go there, and if you want to do walking scoring, spot balling, you know, doing the scoreboard at the main ring area, you can do that. And by doing that, you get a uniform and you get 2 rounds of golf and a couple of other things, and you meet the stars of the golf as well. So Golf for Grays, they have a yearly. I'm not sure their cost now, but go online, golfforgrays.com. You can join that. And they have societies, golf matches, 2-3 a month, literally. And that's a way of meeting people. And whether you're a single person, couple, or children, they even allow children in. Golf for Grays, I mean, obviously I got in straight away, no problem there. Back to the golf again. If you're looking in Le Sol, for example, for a good 2-3 bedroom apartment, that's not literally on the fairways, but it's on the golf course, in the golf side of the golf. You can literally walk to the golf course, the clubhouse. You can expect realistically to pay $250 upwards for a good 2-bedroom apartment. Now on those, they will generate, from our rental department, they will say they will return in high season €1,250 a week, and they will rent. I know we are going through a pandemic at the moment, the coronavirus, but it's not going to last forever. It's starting to open up. Portugal's started the first phase. It's opening up slowly, and can I just say, it's got recognition of actually being they've done it very well, done it extremely well. And other parts of the world have not been so good at doing, holding back things, but I'll take my hat off to the Portuguese government, how they've done things. But Villa Sol will rent very, very well, and guarantee probably in the first year of having the property here, probably 12 weeks without doing anything. You will get those 12 weeks. And then each year it would increase and get better and better on rentals. So Villa Sol is a great idea if you're thinking about a holiday home, apartment, even to relocate in a good 2-bedroom, because they're not small here, they're quite big. So good size. And I mean, the village green at Villa Sol has got 3 swimming pools, lovely gardens, lovely area, lots of restaurants, little shops. You've got Cortera down the road, Villamora down the road, so it's a good location. Next onto that is Villamora. Now, Villamora, a little bit more expensive, but Villamora has got an international marina, and you can expect a resale property there from $350 starting price. But then saying that, there's some new off-plan builds going up, and there's Uptown Villamora, just outside of Villamora, but still in Villamora itself. I think you're talking there about $350 starting price upwards on a new project that's going to be ready later. I believe, don't quote me, I think it's back later this year. Anybody's interested in those details, we've got all the files and pictures. Everything's on our website as well, idealhomesportugal.com. You can check everything there. That's well worth looking at. And they've also got another development, Central Villamora, which is right in the heart of, literally a 2-minute walk across the road and you're into the marina itself. And they're more expensive, and they start in somewhere about $650 for townhouses. But great location, lovely development, very, very well looking at. And revenues, rental on that, will it even be more? It will be. So I mentioned the east, I've mentioned central in the sense of where we are in sort of the Villa Sol, Villamora areas. Quinta do Lago is going to be, you know, the multi-million-pound villas down there, but beautiful, stunning place, stunning. Valdolobo, you can pick up some very nice properties down there, and they're very close to the sea, so Valdolobo is worth looking at. Other place going inland a little way is Lule. Now Lule is, some people say Lule, some people say Lule, but Lule. You have to visit Lule. When you come to the Algarve, go to Lule. It's a beautiful, beautiful little town that is famous for its market, and it has festivals. In the year it has festivals, and in sort of twice a year it has at the end of August, White Night, where everyone dresses in white, whole town's done in white, and you just drink caipirinhos, and it's absolutely amazing atmosphere. So Lule is a gold mine. I mentioned earlier there's a golf course being built at Umbria, which is north of Lule. That is going to be very, very special, and there's releasing properties on there now, being built, and that is, I think the golf course is almost finished, and the properties are started now to be sold, and they are going to be quite nice, so very nice. So moving on from there, we then get to more of going towards the west, but just going outside the Golden Triangle. We go down to Albufeira, the hub, Albufeira is. There's several golf courses around there. There's Salgados, if you like golf and you like water, you like Salgados. If you don't like water, you won't like Salgados. There's water everywhere. Challenging, it's worth trying, but don't just keep getting your wood off the tee, because sometimes it won't work. And where else we've got there? Inland from there we go up to Silves, and what I would recommend is in A golf course, and B, apartments, properties, is called Amendoeira. Amendoeira is a little bit special. It's 2 golf courses, opened and designed. First one was designed by Sir Nick Falder, and it's Christy O'Connor Jr., the other one. Beautiful 18-hole golf courses, challenging. And then you've got on there a floodlit 9-hole golf course that's playable at night time because of the floodlights. You've got a tennis centre, a lot of training facilities, a full gym facilities with lots of professional football teams come over and do their training, winter training, and stay at Amendoeira. And when I say about property there, well, you can get a 2-bedroom, beautiful, finished, all furnished, nothing you need to do. You put the key in the door, open it, it's done. They start at 285. Now, 285,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment. There's duplexes above on the top. There's 2 levels. The ground ones are the 2 bedrooms, and on the top level is a duplex. They're 360, but they have a separate bedroom upstairs for making it a 3-bedroom, 2+1, with an enormous roof terrace that has just got the stunning scenery of the golf courses. And you look over, for example, Christy O'Connor's golf course, and that is just orange groves. And you can smell the orange blossom when it's flowering. It's just stunning. And the clubhouse is pretty special as well. And they're all properties in Portugal are freehold, so you're not got a leasehold. You'll have condominium charges for the running, upkeep, swim pools, etc. But everything in Portugal is a freehold. You buy the property. You don't have a leasehold to renew after 99 years, if you didn't know that. Amendoeira offers you discount as a member, membership of food at the clubhouse, drinks, and also if you are a member there, I think membership is 3,000 for a couple, 1,700 for a single person, but you can bring 6 members at a time, 6 friends to play with a member at a time, and the golf there for the friends will work out €60 with a buggy each, which is cheap. That's good value for that course. So that is what we call Amendoeira. Those details are all on our website, idealhomesportugal.com. You can look at, as I said, everything I'm mentioning. I might be rambling, sorry. It's not my best idea. I'm quite new to this. But that is well worth looking at if you're looking for, I would call it a sports complex, not just a golf course. And you're only from Amstel to Para, probably about 1.6 kilometres. It's not very far down to the coast there. And the other thing they also do is they have a shuttle bus on a whole development that you can ring up from your room. It's free of charge, and they will take you down to the tennis centre. They'll take you to the gym. They'll take you up to the clubhouse. And in the summer, that will run down to the coast as well, so you can go down to the beach. And that runs backwards and forwards whenever you want. That's a service included in your charges there. So that's well worth it as well. And then a bit further on, we've got Morgado and Silves, 2 great courses more inland. Morgado's a bit like African hills. You expect to see wildebeest coming across as you drive up to it. It's quite amazing, that one. And then you come down to, my brain is thinking overtime at the moment. We have then got Carviero. Carviero's got Pestana golf courses, and Pestana have numerous golf courses, and Villa Sol is a Pestana. So if you join Villa Sol, as a member, I think again membership there, I'd have to check, but I think it's about 2,500. But that allows you to play all the Pestana golf courses in Portugal, not just in the Algarve, up north, and also you get discounts off all the posadas, which are the hotels that have all been done up, like convents and that. So Pestana run so many golf courses, and in Carvero they've got Gramacho and Valdepinta. That's Valdepinta and Gramacho. Good, nice courses, those ones. and then you've got Boa Vista further down on the right on the coast, 27 holes there. And the owners of Amendoira, I was just speaking about, sorry, jumping again, but they bought Benamor, not Benamor, Boa Vista, and they are selling off-planned plots there, and that's a 27-hole golf course that's been completely changed. They refurbished, not refurbished it, but changed everything about it and put in stunning scenery down to the sea. It's stunning there. And you've got 9 holes on the links course as a links course as well. So it's 27 holes, nine of that is a links. So well worth it, that's Boa Vista. Then you've got Espiche, inland a little bit, and then you've got Portimao, which is Henry Cotton's Penina, very near the little fishing village of Algarve. Algarve, pretty lovely little town, and Penina, challenging 18-hole golf course with a big hotel there. And we've got properties in and around all those areas. Again, check out on the websites. What else can I say? Oh yeah, just to say about the golf. The golf has now opened from the pandemic, and obviously with restricted things. At the moment, to start with, there's no 4 balls. There's only 2 balls. So 2 balls are allowed to play. Obviously, things like the clubhouse and there's no social distancing. We have to, take that all in. That's a rule. And the little things they're changing. Instead of going to pick the ball out of the hole, they are going to bring something in where the ball doesn't drop down in the hole. So you're not delving into the hole to get the ball. But no, all the golf courses are opening and things are slowly picking up. And hopefully on the 18th, I think Lisbon is opening up next week, airport, more. It's open at the moment, very limited flights, but more will happen next week. Now the Western Algarve. What can you expect from the West? The West is very, very popular. We get down to Lagos, which is a very thriving, good rental market. If you are thinking of investing money into buying property in Portugal, now is the time. I mean, it was buzzing 4 weeks ago. I mean, property prices have just been going up and up and up. And I will say that property in Portugal has always been different to anywhere else, i.e. Spain, where Spain is a bigger country and it will build and build and build. Portugal is it's not as big as Spain, obviously, but it is very strict on its building. Now, it obviously is growing. It's been growing all the years I've been here, but it's not got into what I say a mode of over mass tourism. It's popular, but this is what making the prices go up. There's a limited amount of property to the amount of demand. Now, developers have slowly, some of them are offering discounts to start the ball rolling after this pandemic. We get through all this, and it's probably a good time. I don't think we're going to have a market crash. I can't see that. I mean, we can't go on in this world we're living in at the moment as we are. It's got to change. We've got to be positive, come out of it, and it will be good. And when the sun shines, the Algarve is the best place. And let's face it, the sun does shine generally 360 days a year, they say. I think there's a bit of exaggeration there. But so investing, if you're thinking about investing, Lagos, very worth looking at. Very popular. There's not much in resale value properties coming up in Lagos because people don't sell. Off-plan with developers we've used for many years now. A couple of families we use that build fantastic properties. I mean, you look at the quality fitments they put into it. You just can't fault them. You walk in and it's a wow factor when you walk into these. You've got there's one development in the centre of Lagos, where there's a few apartments left there. They are with 2 rooftop pools. You're literally by the marina in Lagos, and they're sub 300s. euros, 300,000 euros. Maybe a couple left just under that. But the developer is also building a new one just near the western side of Lagos. He's built one. He's halfway through one at the moment. He's going to build building next door to that, and that's Santa Maria. They are starting probably about 450 there upwards, and they've got penthouses as well at about 650. Another developer we use there. Again, similar. The quality of work is exceptional, and then you're by the coast. You're near the best beaches, some of the best beaches, and the cliff edges around in the Algarve. I mean, I said about the east having the islands. The west has some just stunning scenery. Where else? And then we literally do have villas up out just outside Lagos. Again, if you have any ideas of what you want, I try and answer the questions. In fact, I'm rambling on, and I'll just have a look at a couple of things there that's coming in. But we are here to help you. I often say it's not a matter of selling you something, it's a matter of actually finding you something. Because buying a property is not just something you just do on a whim. You just don't buy it off the shelf. When you're serious about buying something, we will be here to help you. That's my job, that's what I do. I work on trust, honesty, and help. And I learn from what you like and what you don't like to maybe say, absolutely, why don't we try this one? Maybe not be what you're thinking of, but we will do our best to try and find you something. That's Ideal Homes. And what else can I say? If you've never been to the Algarve before, there's more to just golf as well. There's so much more. I mean, I've been here now I bought my first property in 2000, and I only found out the other day in Lule, which is just down the road from where I am, there's an underground salt mine. You can go down, and it's a 13-kilometre walk underneath Lule. I never knew it existed, but there's a salt mine you can go and visit down there. There's Zitmire I mentioned in the east, and there's the golf, tennis, brilliant for tennis. You've got other things like boats, the boating tours out from either Villamora, Lagos, and Algarve got their own marina. You can go out from there, and obviously all the out of the boats. I'm not sure if I'm just seeing that Tia's there. Have you got any questions, Tia? I can answer.
Hi, John. So we've just had one come through from Simon asking, well, basically saying there are plenty of properties on the market that need refurbishing. Do you have access to contractors to undertake the work? And what are the rough guides on costs to replace a decent quality kitchen, refurbish the bathroom, decorating costs for a typical 2-bedroom apartment? So, I mean, if you were to, let's say, would we be able to provide the contracts, and roughly how much would it cost to do this?
Yes, as I say, it's a one-stop. Ideal Homes will do all that. We have our own line recommended builders. And what I would say about refurbs, if it's an apartment, it's Simon, was it? Was it Simon? Yeah. If it's an apartment, it's a lot easier than an old quinta. Quinta is Portuguese word for farm. Apartments will be a lot easier. A good replacement kitchen allow probably 10,000, 5,000 per bathroom. It all depends on what quality you want. I mean, Portugal is famous for its tiles, and they've got so many different styles of tiles. We can supply the builders, we can give you quotes, anything like that. Obviously for rent, if it's a property to refurb and it's a rental, it does mean a lot goes into the fact of where the location of it is. And also, one other thing I will say about an apartment is, if you want to rent it, it needs outside space, because we all come to Portugal for holidays in the sun. If it hasn't got a balcony and you want a rental, it's debatable, it's being honest with you. And building work here, I've actually used I've used Portuguese builders, English builders, I've had Romanian builders, and I will actually say I've never had a problem with anybody. Maybe I've been lucky, but I haven't had a problem with anybody. But I tend to think that, you know, like the work here is different to UK building standards, or maybe somewhere else in the world. But it's good build. They're very strict when they build here. You can't just build something. Everything's got to be a certain size steel for the reinforcements for the pillars, to be seismic proof, things like that. And there's some great styles of tiles, bathroom fitments, etc., etc. I see you there, Simon. If you've got a question, you want to just unmute yourself, feel free, just ask. I'm here. Anything else, Tia? And Tia, you need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I just noticed, thank you. There's one here that said, has the market not dipped slightly due to the coronavirus, the current circumstances?
We have got, if you look on our website, we have got some reductions. Certain people selling properties for various reasons, could be financial, personal. There is a few on there that have been dropped, but in general, believe it or not, I just don't think there's going to be a drop. There might be some reasonably good bargains out there at the moment, but I wouldn't say wait and wait and wait. I think something's going to drop massively in 6 months' time. I may be wrong, but my gut feeling is, yes, there are a few out there, but I think it's going to hopefully turn to normality and get back on track to where it was. I hope that helps, that bit there. Anything else coming in?
Not as of yet, no. But if anyone wants to take their microphones off mute and speak to John directly, please feel free to. We've reached the Q&A section.
I don't buy it. What I will say as well, I'll run through, if anybody hasn't before realised, but the buying process in Portugal, it's a very simple process. You find a property, and if you find the property you like, you put an offer in. Obviously, with offers going in, it's usually a three-way, you know, it bounces back 3 ways. I will do my best. If it's like I'm dealing with it, I will deal with it and work as best I can for you. And if an offer is accepted, you then set up a reservation agreement of €6,000, which goes into a lawyer's account. That takes the property off the market. Now that starts the process of doing the paperwork with the lawyer, and that 6,000 is refundable. At any time you decide you don't want to go forward with it, the 6,000 is refundable. But while the paperwork's all being done, then the promissory contract is drawn up, and all that is set in stone in what you're buying. If it's furnished, what's in the furnishing. There's an inventory done to say exactly what you're buying. And the terms and conditions of generally completion, like when the deed is done. And that's something you can complete quickly. Generally, it depends on the vendor that's selling. If they want to sell very quickly, then they move to somewhere else, etc., etc. But once you put the promissory comes in and that's signed, then the 6,000 is part of your promissory that comes off. And you generally, it can be up to 30%. It depends on the property. But put 30% down, maybe 20%. Then you're binding to buy that property. If you pull out and decide not to, you'll lose your deposit. If for any reason the vendor selling decides he doesn't want to sell it to you anymore, then they have to pay you back double. I'm not going to say it's working all the time. Don't buy property thinking you're going to get double every time. It has worked a couple of times with people for various reasons, but they've got double back. But what that does, it secures you. You know what you're buying. The seller knows what they're selling, and they are going to be selling to you generally. And then the deed is done. Can be a week later. It can be done straight to deed if you want to, if that's easier for you and the vendor. And the only other thing I will say is, like, if you put a 20 or 30% down on a property, and financially something went wrong, and you were committed to buying that property, with a mortgage here, you can get up to 70% and even 80% on a mortgage, and the banks are lending here, so there's no problem there. So that means, you know, if you're only putting 10% down, you would be stuck. So 20 or 30%, it's like a secure bonding that goes into the lawyer's account, and that's that. So it's a very simple and easier way of buying a property than, you know, you'll find in a lot of countries. I find the UK, I many years ago come stuck with the property I was selling, and the day I expected it to be signed, I never saw the buyer. He just went away, disappeared. I moved out and moved everything into storage, and that left a bitter taste. But anyway, anything else?
So we've got, a couple more if we can finish these. We've got 3 more questions if we can work through those.
Yeah.
One is, what do lenders want to see in income or assets?
I would not want to answer that one because I'm not going to be. Can I? Whoever sent that, because I'm not. I don't want to say something that's wrong. Can I get Christina?
Jackson, yeah. I mean, if
Can
that's
I get Christina to look at that one?
yes, that's what I was going to say. On Tuesday, we are doing mortgages.
Yeah.
2 p.m. So anyone who's got any questions with regards to financing, what you can get approved for, interest rates, you know, we can run through all of that. I can send everyone the information to join.
I don't want to give you know, information that's not right. So
yeah.
I'd rather be on my hand up straight away.
So we'll move on to the next one. Any guidance on rental fees that Idle Homes charge, or is this charged at our discretion with individual clients?
No, I'm not on the rental side. I'm more on the sale property consultant side. But on the rental side, I believe there's an annual charge of £1,000 for putting it on their website, running it, doing the key service, and I think they take 10% of the rental. That's how I understand it. But again, I can get a rental from the rental department. Megan could probably send a detailed explanation pack of all the details on that, couldn't she, to that kind.
We're also doing rentals on Thursday. We'll be doing a rentals webinar on Thursday, so anyone who's got any questions for that, again, we'll send them through. Another one we've got is, someone said, just in case they misheard, all properties sold are generally sold freehold.
Yes.
Is that including apartments?
Yeah, in Portugal, whatever you buy is a freehold apartment. It's a freehold, you buy the freehold. As I mentioned earlier, it's freehold, whether it's a villa, apartment, townhouse. You obviously have a condominium to pay, but that is, you are part of the condominium as well. All your owners are part of the condominium. And depending on what the condominium has, if it's got 3 swimming pools, loads of grounds and gardens, it's going to cost more than one with 1 swimming pool and no gardens. So depending on what the condominium, but every year you vote on how it works. And it does seem to work quite well here, without a problem. Condominiums are run well, they're maintained well, because you are in control of all that.
Well, that moves very nicely onto the next question, which is, do annual condominium charges vary hugely within the Algarve?
Yeah, as I said, it is. If you've got lifts in a condominium, they need to be maintained. There is a general golden rule of most condominiums is when you pay your yearly fee, regardless of what it is, low or high, you'll have a slush fund of in that where the properties are painted every generally 6 years. So outsides of properties are maintained. That's why they always look good. And inside is your responsibility. You can change anything inside. You can't change anything outside. The structure and everything outside has to be the same. Hope that helps a bit. So yeah, on the condominium charges, just generally, the more you've got, the more you pay, I'm afraid. But then you can sit back and relax and go, well, I don't have to do that garden. Some people think, I'm paying a condominium, it's like money thrown away. It's not really. If you have a villa, you know, you have to have a pool man, you have to have a gardener. It's 6 of one, half a dozen the other. They all need doing. They all need doing. Well, I hope I've covered a lot of things. I mean, I've waffled. I've talked about golf and things like that. just going through my notes and things, what I thought. But generally, you know, as I go recap, the Algarve, and one thing that's what just comes to my mind, Algarve is one of the safest places in the world. I think it's voted number 3, one of 3, Iceland and New Zealand. There's relatively minimal crime. Crime exists everywhere, but it's a safe country, very, very safe. So how are we doing, Tia?
No, that's great. And so we're running out of time. So obviously we're moving on to Spain for 2. So will be a copy of this recording will be on our YouTube channel. It will be sent to you directly also, in case you want to recap. I will put John's email here in the chat again for anyone now who would like to speak with him directly. And what we will also do is send you the details to register for mortgages Tuesday 2 p.m. That will be with Angela, our director, and Christina, our mortgage broker. And Megan will, obviously, is our rentals manager. She does property management and rentals. That will be Tuesday. I'm going mainly with 2 p.m. again, but we can confirm the time. If we've got time for one more quick question, John, because we'll have to tie this up shortly. There's one from Daniel which says, outside of the 12-week high season, what can an owner expect for rentals for the rest of the year?
That obviously depends on the location and the property. But if I'm giving you like a Villa Sol idea of a 2-bedroom apartment doing a £12.50 a week in high season, you're looking at probably £750 around about that price. So one that was 900, probably 550, somewhere like that. So 900 high season, 550, something like on the lower seasons. And it depends. I mean, Christmas, Easter's, those prices, they'll jump up a bit more. But as I said, with the rental, I think, is it Megan doing it on the rental one? Again, she's more of an expert on that side of it. And rentals in Portugal, very good, despite what we're going through at the moment. Very good, and it's a lovely country to come to. So even if you come, I mean, I often say, if you're coming on holiday to Portugal, come on holiday, allow a day to contact Ideal Homes, and we'll show you some properties. We'll do our best to show you the Algarve as well. So it's part of our service.
Great, thank you very much, John. Thank you to everyone for joining today. I say, if you have any questions, you can, or any follow-up questions, you can email John directly. He'll obviously have anything to answer. He will run through the information that was submitted beforehand, and if there's anything that's not been answered, obviously we can contact you directly again. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. I hope I haven't bored you too much, but thank you again. All right. Have a great day. All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Bye.